it's Jess here from Meadows Flowers, and today we're going to go and we're going to do some cutting out in the cutting garden. But I thought what I'd want to do first is just have a bit of a chat with you about my essential cut flower kit, basically. So you want to get yourself set up, you want to know what it is you need to really be able to go out there and pick those flowers and make the most of what we've got. So let's start with the basics. We need something to cut with. So I keep all my tools in a tool roll. It's a waxed cotton tool roll, really handy. I use this when I go and do floristry because I can just roll it up, chuck it in a bag, and all my tools are safe and secure in here. But it's quite heavy and I don't really want to be taking this out sort of pottering about in the garden. So my essentials for cut flowers are a really good pair of secateurs. So these are a Spear & Jackson pair, and they are in a gorgeous shade of pink. I love them a little bit, but really nice bypass secateur, really easy to keep sharp. But the best thing with these is that I can actually close them one-handed. So a lot of secateurs, what you'll find is that you have to sort of twist them or do them to close, and when you're picking and putting in a bucket, literally one-handed operation, open them, close them again. These are my essential. I use these day in, day out, wouldn't be without them. The other tool that I think is really useful is a little pair of snips. So same make as before. These are Spear & Jackson, and I'll put all the links in the blurb at the bottom of everything that I use. But these are really good for slightly more delicate flowers. So they've got a really nice little sharp point there. Again, they've got a nice little one-handed operation on them to open and close them. Use these for more delicate things, so setting sweet peas, springtime, absolutely essential for your sweet peas. So I've got my two tools. I'm not going to go off to the garden, hands are full. Where am I going to put them? So if I'm wearing my Lucy & Yaks, which are the ultimate in gardening dungarees, I just slip them in the pocket. So they've got loads of pockets, really handy, absolutely love them to bits. If I'm not, I have a tool belt, and this is great because I can put my phone in it, pop my tools in it, literally chuck everything in there, pop it on, head out to the garden, and we can do some cutting. So key thing when you're cutting flowers is they do not want to be out of water at all. Absolutely hate it. The moment those stems start to dry, they seal, they're not going to take up any more water, they will wilt before you know it. So we need to pick into something. So a couple of options. You can just use any old bucket, about a third full of water. That's easy. The problem is it's not deep enough and tall enough to really hold those nice stems. So my favourite bucket for picking into is this one. It's an Oasis, called Oasis bucket. So from Oasis that make the floral foam, make the floral products. The beauty of this is it's really sturdy and it's got a couple of good handles on it. So you can just carry it round, pick straight into it. Very handy indeed. Now this is great, they're not cheap. So if I'm picking loads, I will often pick into this and then transfer for conditioning into a slightly different bucket. So for conditioning, two options. These are cheap as chips. These are just plastic moulded, very cheap, simple 10-litre bucket. They come in a 5-litre if you want a smaller one. And sometimes if you're lucky, your supermarket might give them to you, might sell them to you cheap because they tend not to recycle them. But being a hard black plastic, they are fully recyclable. Otherwise, have a little look online on some of the wholesalers and they are dirt cheap. So Degex is one, really useful to buy from. It is wholesale, so you have to buy quite big quantities. Or places like Triangle Nursery, you can pick these up really cheaply. I tend to buy them in sort of 20 at a time, because if you come to me for DIY flowers, then this is what I'll send you out with. So you'll get your flowers in one of these buckets, about a third to half full with water, conditioned, prepped, ready to go. Then the ultimate bucket, and if you can get hold of these will last a lifetime. So this is what's called a Dutch bucket or an auction bucket. So these are used in the big auctions because they stack, and the beauty of these is they're really tall, they're really stable, and the flowers just condition beautifully in them because they've got this height. So they're a 2-part bucket. Bottom half we just fill with water. And again, you're not going to knock that boy over. When he's full of water, he's really, really stable. And then the flower support comes off these stacks, the whole thing's like a big stack of these. Put it together, pop your flowers in. These are the ultimate in conditioning bucket. So we've got our secateurs, we've got our snips, we've got our phone, we've got our Lucy and Yaks on. Let's go cut some flowers. Hi, so here we are in the dahlia patch. As you can see, having a bit of fun and getting the camera to stay where it's meant to this morning. So we're going to do some picking, and this is what I would call picking for the house. So this is me looking at what's ready today, what do I actually need to cut, because as I mentioned in my deadheading video, the more we cut, the more the flowers are going to come. So if I was cutting for an order, so for a bouquet, for an arrangement, I'd be cutting things that are just coming into bloom, like this lovely Eveline here, or just starting to open. Because I'm cutting for the house, I'm looking at what's ready today. So normally, if I was cutting in for a bouquet, for an arrangement, I'd be trying to cut third foliage, third focal flowers, such as my dahlias, and a third filler. However, what I need to do today is take off everything which is ready and I need to use. So I'm going to start with this Eveline dahlia here. So her friend here has gone over. So I'm just going to cut her off and I'm going to throw her on the lawn because we're due to get this lawn mowed. Then I've got my flower here. I'm going to look and I want a bit of stem length on this. So I'm going to be brave. One of the key things is you need to be brave. So go right down to the base of the stem. And I'm then going to take off all of my side leaves, just work my way up her, snipping them off because I don't want these in my bucket. Take my leaves off, and then the key thing, I'm going to recut my stem at a 45-degree angle, get it straight in the bucket. So I've got another beautiful Eveline here who does need to come. Now she's got side buds, and if I was feeling if I was needed, I might just take her off there and leave her side bud to come. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave this side bud because I want this to come nice and strong. I'm going to pop her off here. She's really short, but she'll be ideal for a little vase arrangement for the table that I might show you later. Pop her straight in the bucket. And whilst I'm at it, I'm going to just side shoot her friend there. So then I've got these beautiful, look at this, Cafe au Lait Royale. Now, she's also got her mate coming at the side here. And there's one here. I'm a little bit torn as to who I'm going to take now. So I think this Cafe au Lait Royale here, I am going to take her down to a good stem length. So I'm going to take her here. Again, just going to pop her side shoots off. But I quite like that little bud because I might use it as a bit of a feature. So into the bucket with her friend. Again, in fact, she's got one coming here, so she's going to be a little bit on the shorter side, but we can make real use of her in a lovely vase arrangement. A bit disappointed with some of the stem lengths this year. Usually, certainly these Cafe au Lait and the Royales have been on absolutely stunning stem length. They've all been a bit short this year. I suspect it's been because it's been so dry. Now, I want her, I need to use her. I'm a little sad about her side bud, but let's be brave. We're going to take her off right the way down here because look at her, isn't she stunning? And then again, just snip my side leaves off. Probably going to take to here, leave her bud at the back because I think that's quite sweet. And again, she's going into the bucket. So that's my Cafe au Lait done. That's Eveline done. Got Labyrinth here. Again, we've got a friend coming there. Where are we going to take you, my dear? I think I'm going to snip you short and use you in a little tiny vase because I want your friend for later in the week when I need to do some more cutting. Then I'm going to come back here. Don't know if you can still see me. We can. Hello. You can just about see my legs because of this camera. Again, this is Ambition. Really nice dahlia, absolutely stunning. This one here, head is a little bit blown. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So she's gonna come off and come in the house with me. So when we look at her, if you have a look, her centre is a little bit yellow. She should be a perfect pom-pom. So it's a bit of a shame, but my darling, you've got a nice stem length. You can come in a big vase in the house. And again, leaves off, recut the stem into the bucket. So I'm going to keep working my way around these dahlias. Hopefully you can see me with this camera at the angle it is, and then I'll see you back in the house in a bit. So I was going to pick a bit of cosmos and work my way around these my cutting beds, have a little bit of a pick of what's ready, and then we'll have a little bit of a think about what we're going to do with all these flowers. As I said, I'm picking for the house today, so I'm literally working my way around, having a look at actually what needs picking in order that things will keep growing. There's Gypsophila. Things will keep growing and keep flowering because we're now into autumn, but I'd like things to keep going for as long as we can. So I'm going to pick some of this Gypsophila. This is Gypsophila Covent Garden, so it's a bit different to your gyp that you would see in the florists. It's not quite as frothy, but I actually really prefer it. So I bring this over here to have a little look at this. It's really delicate little flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. Love this. I'm going to end up with a bit of a bucket of this by the looks of it. So there's loads of this ready for picking, and if I just keep cutting at this, it will come back a bit more. I'm starting to get thoughts together. I'm getting plans what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to work my way over and just keep doing a bit of picking. A bit of a fight through the jungle. Hi, so I've just finished picking. So I've just picked these. I've just picked these lovely chrysanthemums, these zinnias, and this phlox from the tunnel. So I've just worked my way around the cutting beds and the polytunnel, picked everything which really needs picking. I mean, look at the colour of that chrysanthemum, it's gorgeous. Everything is now going to go back to the house. I'm going to get it all into condition for the rest of the day. So what that means is it's going to have a really nice drink, about half to 2/3 full of water. All the lower leaves will get removed. We'll get all these flowers prepped, and then a bit later on I'll show you what we did with them. So here we go, so everybody having a lovely drink ready for arranging in a bit. So we have the Cosmos and the Gypsophila, this lovely bucket of chrysanthemums and zinnia that we picked, and a little bit of phlox because it just smells divine. And then this is the wild bucket. This is the bucket of dahlias. I mean, look at all these bad boys. And I tell you what, from just a few plants, they'll be the same again to cut in about another 2 days' time. And we've now created this gorgeous urn arrangement with these dahlias. So the ones which have got the short stems, so we've got some Cafe au lait, Labyrinth. We've got the gorgeous chrysanthemum, this is Aloise Salmon. Beacon, so we've got this beautiful Cafe au lait Royale, that lovely Gypsophila we had. And 2 seconds time, I will show you the big vase. And finally, we've just knocked up this little small vase of the gorgeous dahlias we picked earlier along with the Cosmos. I've still got the zinnias in a conditioning bucket and I'll do something with those later on. But if we have a look, we've got all the dahlias here looking absolutely gorgeous. So as I said before, all the links are in the comments below with all the suppliers that I've mentioned. And if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything down here on the flower farm. So that's all from me today. Watch out for my next video when I'll be chatting through essential floristry kit, vases and everything you need to get yourself set up.